Miss Combos with Laura and Yusuf.
Yahoo and welcome back to Miss Combos with Laura and Yusuf. In today's video, I'm going to be reacting to the brand new Mafuyu Focus event cards called And So the Clock Hand Started Ticking. So this is the much anticipated Mafuyu 6 Focus event, and let's take a look at the event synopsis. Mafuyu has decided to finally face her mother and tell her how she really feels. At the same time, Mafuyu's mother has also made a promise to respect and put Mafuyu's feelings above all else. On the day of their meeting, the mother and daughter finally met each other after so long and began to talk about their feelings. I guess before I go into the card reaction, I want to talk a little bit about Mafuyu's mom because I feel like for the most part, very young fans all despise Mafuyu's mom and also Toya's dad as well. I feel like it's both of those parents that just get the worst rep, I guess, in the fandom. And I'm not going to be defending them because I relate to both Mafuyu and Toya a lot when it comes to how they've been treated by their parents. But I do want to provide maybe some nuance, some much needed nuance from someone that is older, that has repaired their relationship with an overbearing parent. I do feel like Mafuyu's mom and also Toya's dad as well have their best intentions for their child. I don't think that they're acting to harm their child. They just don't realize that by pressuring their child to follow their dreams that they're hurting their child. And that's kind of what happened in my case without going into too much detail. And the first step is going to be, like the event synopsis suggests, is to talk out their feelings. Will this be an easy conversation? Absolutely not. And also, like the event logo implies, you do see a clock hand and also some needle and thread. So it's going to take time to kind of rebuild that relationship and also rebuild Mafuyu's confidence as well. So this is all going to probably hurt Mafuyu as well because first step is accepting the fact that she needs help and that she needs to repair this relationship with her family. So it is going to take some time and it won't be easy. But that being said, I don't think Mafuyu's mother and also Toya's father are like the devil. Like they're trying their best. They're flawed characters by design, but I do feel like both of them do care about their child. They're just going about it in wrong ways, but you know, they will soon find out that they just need to let their child make their own mistakes and build their own path in life, which is very similar to my experience. So here we have the untrained card featuring Mafuyu, her mother, and her father. The overall mood of this card is much more warm and lighthearted, like she's being welcomed back into their home. And most likely, I mean, you can see her mother is smiling, so she's trying her best to put on this welcoming environment for her daughter. And now if we zoom into Mafuyu's face, you can see that her facial expression is relaxed. She's not angry, she's not sad, she's not happy. She is just attentively listening to her mother. She's probably just hearing her out and willing to hear her out. So overall, I feel like this is like the first step that Mafuyu and her family need to take in order to repair their relationship, which is definitely a step into the right direction. Like I previously said, will this be easy? No, it will not be easy. It's probably going to be very emotional as well, but this is definitely a step into the right direction, and it's Mafuyu being receptive to hear her mother out. And yeah, now let's take a look at the train card, because although this is much darker in mood, I feel like Mafuyu's body language suggests that she is open to almost being like sewn up and repaired. It almost seems like she is just laying down in defeat. She is not protecting herself. Her hands are above her head. And this pose almost reminds me of when dogs lay down and they fully trust their owners. If they're laying with their stomachs up, that means that they are trusting of their owner. They're not needing to like defend themselves. And Mafuyu is not defending herself. She is laying down, all vulnerable with no protection. She is not covering her chest area or her face. She is just kind of, I guess, open to being helped, open to being sewn up and put together. And although it's going to be very difficult because she is broken, I feel like she's finally accepting that she needs the help. I also do want to point out Mafuyu's costume because even though this is a costume for her focus event, it's very similar to the Night Court uniform. And also you can see the Night Court logo, the little heart on her braid. I do feel like this is the first time that Mafuyu is just not running away. She's willing to receive help and work together with her bandmates, essentially. So this is very interesting. Definitely a good step for Mafuyu, that is for sure. The next 4-star card belongs to Kanade, and you can see Kanade is in her kitchen. She's kind of just looking probably at the front door. My guess is that she's watching Mafuyu willingly leave like her home by herself and take that first step into going back to her home and repairing the relationship with her parents. I do notice that there is a little bit of a bittersweet emotion on Kanade's face, which would be natural. I mean, Kanade was taking care of Mafuyu in her home, but now Mafuyu is ready to leave and go back to her home. So although Kanade very much cares for Mafuyu, she also wants the best for Mafuyu and recognizes that she needs to repair the relationship with her parents. I'm feeling the same bittersweet emotions that Kanade is feeling just looking at this card, because I feel like Kanade is a very caring person, but she also recognizes that she will miss Mafuyu as well. But here we have the trained card, which is also very, very dark. But as we can see, Kanade sees that there is a light. There's a light signifying that Mafuyu is not, obviously she's not dead, but she's not dead inside either. So there is still a light for Mafuyu. There's still a will to live and keep persevering and keep working on herself too. So this is definitely, although the background and everything is very dark, very gothic, you do see these chains with thorns. There is still something, a sign that lets Kanade know that Mafuyu hasn't given up yet. So there's a hopeful light that Kanade wants to take care of and protect, which is very much like Kanade, that is for sure. I do love her short hair, if I can go off on a tangent. And much like Mafuyu's outfit, this is also very reminiscent of the Night Court uniform. So I do sense a newfound sense of unity for the group, which is also very, very good to see. The last 4-star card belongs to Len, and here we have Len comforting Mafuyu in the empty sekai. Len looks very concerned and just wants to help Mafuyu. The mood of the background is very dark and foggy, which is definitely a metaphor for how Mafuyu is feeling at the moment. I'm guessing with all of her emotions and just her trauma as well, her thoughts might be a little bit foggy and not making sense. But it's really sweet to see Len, who is definitely portrayed as like the younger, more naive and innocent like virtual singer in the empty sekai, show so much care, concern, and empathy towards Mafuyu. So overall, like, although this card is definitely pretty sad, I do like seeing Mafuyu not pull away from the help, but just let Len comfort her. So now let's take a look at the trained artwork, which almost looks like Len is just kind of copying Mafuyu's like pose. He is closely guarding this plushie, which I do feel like is a visual representation for Mafuyu. There's also a barbed wire fence all over surrounding Len, kind of to like ward off anything negative that might hurt Mafuyu. Like, he is making sure that no one can hurt her. I feel kind of sad looking at this picture, although like Len is being again so caring and empathetic. I feel like this is kind of like a very childish way of protecting someone, like putting stuff all around him to basically hurt anyone that tries to enter this little like bubble that he has made. But that's like what he thinks is the best way to protect Mafuyu. So in a way, it's very sweet, but also there's so much sadness in his eyes. Like he doesn't know if this is going to work or not. That's kind of what I'm getting. So overall, a very sad card. I do like his outfit a lot, and the longer hair and the bucket hat. I think those are cute, but the card is just kind of, again, a little bittersweet. For the 3-star card, we have Mizuki, and here we see Mizuki putting on a bracelet on Mafuyu's wrist. The overall mood of this card is much light, more airy, more optimistic as well. And we do know from past events that butterflies have been closely associated with Mizuki and Enna because both of them have undergone this metamorphosis and transformed themselves into better versions of themselves. And now I do feel like it's Mafuyu's turn. And you can definitely see that it's Mafuyu's turn to become a butterfly because the name of these cards and the gacha banner is the Latin name for butterfly. It's Papilio vinculatus. I do kind of feel like this is Mizuki passing on the butterfly torch to Mafuyu and just letting her know that things will be okay. And that Mafuyu is not alone. She can rely on the other members of Night Court whenever she needs the help. And here we have Mizuki's trained artwork, and once again we have the butterfly. The butterfly does appear to be pink, at least to my eyes, so I don't know if this is Mizuki looking at her butterfly, realizing that although the journey to become a butterfly may be a little bit tumultuous, may hurt Mafuyu a little bit, Mafuyu needs to undergo her own transformation to become a better version of Mafuyu. I do feel like this is Mizuki kind of being like, hey, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. If I was able to get to the end of the tunnel, then Mafuyu can as well. So overall, I'm getting some like bittersweet optimism from this card, which is definitely any form of optimism is much needed for this event in Mafuyu, but I'll take it. This is optimism, Night Court style. And here we have Enna's 2-star card. She looks a little bit down, kind of not sure of herself, but her outfit, much like Mafuyu, Mizuki, as well as Kanade's outfit, looks very reminiscent of the Night Court uniform. So again, I feel like this overwhelming sense of unity, which is a step into the right direction, because I feel like a lot of times with Night Court, whenever something tragic happens, they tend to run away from their problems instead of confiding with one another and together just helping each other out, like being that moral support. So I do feel like this is a step into the right direction for Night Court. It's definitely going to be not super easy even for them, but I feel like it needed to happen. And I can kind of speak for myself. Whenever I have found myself in very dark times with depression, you do tend to isolate or run away, very similar to Mafuyu. And sometimes you just have to come to the conclusion that you need help. And I've seen a lot of people ask why the teaser for her song was so chaotic, but I feel like there needs to be some chaos, and there will be chaos inside her head as she's trying to work out all her trauma and emotions. But once she is willing to accept help, not only from her fellow Night Court members, but also, willing to repair that relationship with her parents, things will kind of calm down. They won't be bright and optimistic, but it'll take some time and work in order for Mafuyu to repair herself, repair her relationships, and become a better version of herself. If anyone watching this video is currently in a similar situation to Mafuyu, maybe doesn't have the best relationship with their parents, hopefully things will get better, but you do have to realize that things won't get better by themselves. There needs to be some communication, some very hard communication as well. But if both parties are willing to work things out, then repairing that relationship is definitely possible. If you find yourself in a situation where you don't have very close friends like Mafuyu does in this case, I will leave some resources up on the screen. These are some hotlines that are available to be used for free for people that need to speak to a professional when they're feeling at their lowest. Life can sometimes be dark and challenging. Your relationship with your parents can sometimes also be tough as well. But even at your lowest point, there's always things to look forward to. So don't give up on life. There's always something that will make things worth it in the end. So if you're playing in this manner, I wish you the best of luck. And if you're reading this story, just take it slowly, especially if you're someone that does relate to Mafuyu. And if you need a break, just take a break from that story. So I hope you guys enjoyed this card reaction video. If you're brand new to my channel, please make sure to subscribe if you like Project Sekai content, discussions, and streams. And I will be seeing you all very soon in my next video. Bye bye!